Here, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Sean P, the Bluff God. Hey, and I am back again with another One Piece discussion stream. But today is going to be a little different because it's Sunday. It is Sunday, but we do not have a chapter, which I thought we did. But I looked yesterday. I looked last night. I'm like, oh, we don't got a chapter. Because I don't remember it saying we was on break in the chapter, but Shonen Jump showed me otherwise. So I was like, well, what could we do differently? What could we do today? Today's stream. I didn't a lot of these streams where we have these breaks, I like to possibly collaborate with somebody else, have a discussion maybe about the last few chapters or the upcoming chapters, but I don't, I don't got that. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna do something I've never done. And today we will be reacting to a couple. We'll be reacting to a couple One Piece theories from Reddit that I found off of Reddit. So, but before I get into that, make sure you show some love and give your boy a thumbs up. That would really be appreciated. It will help the stream help the stream get exposed to more people, which means the channel could grow and we'll have more things, as well as hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed, because once I reach 50 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway. Be giving away two of those right there, two of those flags. But anyway, let's get into it. All right. Let's not waste time on this one. All right. So I already found a nice little Reddit page of One Piece theories and start up, said top theories. Okay. Is there a list of popular theories somewhere I need to, this is someone asking, and as when you scroll down, before I get into that, let me situate my screen a little better. Okay, I want to do that. All right, I was going to try to do something different, but yeah. All right, so all right, so I should put the link to this Reddit thread in the description. I will put the link in the description after the stream of the I will put the link. I have two threads that I've seen, but I'm gonna probably just do one thread, one actual Reddit thread, and then maybe we could do the other Reddit thread I've seen later. We could either do it if we have time, because I don't want the stream to run too long. If we have time, we could get to the next thread. But if it gets to a certain point of time, I'll probably just save it for another time, for another stream, or maybe a possible normal video. But yeah, so but I will put the link to this thread, in the description box. Okay, so all right, so this answer, which gives a couple theories, and each of these theories have a link to, I guess, the actual theory. So they don't really go into much detail in each of these theories that this guy lists off, or this person lists off. But if I click the link, then it takes us to another page, and that's where we'll see the actual, we'll see the actual theory. So bam. So this list was given to us by 4RCA. And he says, I can make you one. It says, the inherited will. I guess that's the theory. The inherited will by Ashura Kingfisher is probably the most popular One Piece fan theory, and is a conclusion that many people have reached on their own. The gist of it is that the red line will be destroyed. This is an old version. It is not even the best version, but it is the one usually referred to when talking about this theory. So let's check the theory out. Let's check the full theory out. And it opens this up. I'm gonna have to kind of manipulate this little box so you guys can actually see. Move that over. All right. Hopefully you guys can see what. Let me All right, so I'm gonna probably have to manipulate a little more. I thought it was gonna be different, but yeah, this page is kind of wide. That's very. All right. Give me a few seconds, guys. Give me a few seconds. I want to make sure you guys can see what I'm seeing. All right, it looked like that's what we're gonna get. That's the best we're gonna probably be able to do. Okay, so it said I've actually posted this theory 4 years ago, and this is by Ashura Kingfisher. All right, so he says, I've actually posted this theory 4 years ago here, but that one lacks supporting facts, so I'm going to post it again, with supporting facts and a few illustrations. This is going to be a very long read, but I guarantee it will be worth it. Yeah, and this is kind of why. I opted not to do the other thread that I seen, the other what's called Reddit thread, because I seen that some of these theories are pretty long. At first I didn't even really look at the actual theory until after I already found the two theory threads. But okay, so the Void Century. The Void Century. Sorry guys, give me a second. Just trying to let's summarize things first. It says, as we know, there was an age called the Void Century in OP's timeline. Except Roger's Pirate, I'm assuming he meant except Roger pirates. Not a single living soul on this planet have an idea what really happened with the gap. However, an O'Harian archaeologist, Professor Clover, had a slight hint about it. He told us that in the time there was once stood a prosperous and powerful ancient kingdom that ruled over the ocean. However, they had a certain enemy. This enemy felt threatened by the kingdom's existence and their certain policy. So then they invaded the kingdom and succeeded. Invaded the kingdom and succeeded. The kingdom was fallen to shred. Let me read it on. I'm kind of reading it through my Streamlabs, but it's a little smaller. The kingdom fallen to shred, and somehow the enemy managed to wipe out every single information about them from history. Their grammar and where they're placing their punctuation is weird. It's throwing me off reading it. I'm sorry. Because it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Coincidentally, the end of the kingdom's reign also marked the end of the Void Century. At the same time, an organization called the World Government was built for the first time. Clover had a theory that the World Government was none other than the enemy itself. Now let's enter the theory. Okay, so that was just a summarization. Okay, so going down. Make sure you guys see it. The hitting pattern. There are three things that cannot be stopped: men's dream, the flow of time, inherited will. As long as people continue to seek the true freedom or meaning of freedom, they will never cease to be. Gold D. Roger. So that's pretty much a little quote from Gold D. Roger himself. It this theory is kind of hard to digest for me because it's like the grammar is like what they're trying to say, what they're trying to convey is kind of throwing me off through their like their grammar. Maybe what I'm assuming is maybe they don't speak English, so you know they maybe have translated, and that might be why the punctuation and the grammar is just a little off. As these words first appeared in chapter 100, they seem pretty meaningless. Tome. Torn? Tome? Now? I don't know. Tome? I don't know what they're trying to say with that. I took them as nothing more than the random cool quotes. However, to me, that's what he was saying. They seem pretty meaningless to me. I took I don't know why they thought those words were meaningless, but you know, you gotta take. Sometimes you just gotta take little things. Um, you know, a lot of things aren't meaningless in One Piece, so you can't just say they're meaningless. You know, I mean, but that's to him, so I can't. You know, I can't really judge. You know, there's some things that to me it doesn't mean much. You know, so I can't really fault him for that. I took them as nothing more than some random cool quotes. However, as the story goes deeper, I realized, and some of you might have figured it out as well, that One Piece story has been consistently following those three. Let's see. Uh Hiluk Hiluluku Hiluk Hiluluku Sakura. Um Dr. Haluluku, or whatever, however you say his name. I can't. I'm having a problem. Haluluku, Haluk, Haluluk, Haluluk, Haluluk's Sakura. Haluluk had an impossible goal, and that was to create a panacea capable of curing all kind of diseases or illnesses. However, his experiments were his experiments were keep failing and failing for 30 years, though eventually Hiluluk Sakura's was bloomed. It is still not a miracle cure. Chopper, who greatly respect Dr. Hiluluk, inherited these wills by setting sail and joining Luffy. I mean, when you look at like the whole inherited will, I mean, that's been a consistent. That's been a consistent. Like I don't see how that's meaningless when it's been a consistent theme in this story. Like like people I want to say since the beginning of the series have been almost comparing the mirror the mirrorization of that's not a word. They've been comparing like the similarities of Luffy and Goldie Roger. You know what I'm saying? Inherited will to a degree. Even as far as we venture in the story, you know, we kind of look at like maybe Roger and at least me, I kind of look at like Roger and Luffy somehow inheriting Joy Boy's will, you know, and then you look even further, and I can't fault him for this because this kind of happened recently, and this theory is probably a little old, but we get Zebek, and I think me personally, you know, I kind of got a theory that Blackbeard might inherit Zebek's will to a degree. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I have even, I kind of think it's even deeper than that, to where he inherited Zebek's soul. You know what I'm saying? Like Zebek lives within him or something. You know what I mean? Like, but that's just kind of my own little personal fan theory. Okay, so the golden bell of Shandorian. Two best friends parted away on the shores of Jaya. Their friendship didn't end there, or didn't end here. They promised to meet again someday. Kalgara kept ringing the golden bell so his friend wouldn't get lost in his way there. Unfortunately, the fate decided to send Island of Jaya 10,000 meters above the sky. Kalgara died in the war while Nolan was executed in his hometown. Their promises were totally buried. Okay. It said 400 years later, a boy. Let me go down. 400 years later, a boy named Luffy succeeded, found and rang the long lost bell, thus fulfilling the forgotten promise. And I'm assuming this is the dream part, maybe, or is it the flow of that? I don't really know. I'm assuming it's the flow of time one. It's the flow in time. Okay, as we get to know when we go further down. And then three, all blue. And these are just examples. I'm pretty sure there's more. You could continue. There's more uh, examples. Okay, so all blue. Zeph wanted to find the legendary all blue, but a year of selling the Grand Line hasn't bear any fruit. However, he was still pretty assured that the ocean exists somewhere in the world. So he inherited his dream to Sanji, hoping that Sanji will achieve his dream someday in the future. Okay, so he said I only picked three examples, but there are actually more of them. So anyone captured the big picture I'm getting at, or not? Well, here's what I meant. One, in the past, there's someone who had a certain dream, desire, promise, but for a reason or two, they didn't manage to complete it. A man's dream. Two, the dream was delayed for many of years. And I'm thinking he's talking about the bell. So the first one was the chopper in Haluluk, and that's the man's dream. And then the golden bell, and then eventually there will be someone in the future who will complete his her dream, inherited will. I kind of believe that you could kind of I think you could kind of those are kind of interchangeable. You know what I'm saying? I believe that the let's say Chopper, for example, Dr. Haluluk, right? The Dr. Haluluk example. The Dr. Haluluk example, right? Let's say Chopper inherited that will to cure any disease and the whole sakura flowers. That is a man's dream. Like he specifically says when he kind of correlate that example as a man's dream, but it is also an inherited will because Chopper inherited from the doctor. He wanted to, you know, the Doctor Haluluk wanted to cure all the diseases, and he wanted to have these sakura blossoms. And Chopper also inherited that from him. You know, it was a dream, but it was a dream and will that was inherited, and also the flow of time. I mean, Doctor Haluluk died all those years ago, and Chopper is still trying to achieve that, even after all those years ago that Doctor Haluluk failed. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm not saying he's wrong in his assessment or anything. I'm just saying, I believe you could almost interchange a few of those examples. You know, maybe not all of them. You would be able to, you know, like the Golden Bell one. He said that was the example of the flow of time. But if Luffy eventually rang that bell, he found that bell and rang it. Was it not inherited to a degree? Was it not part of an inherited will for him to do that? You know, even though I wouldn't say that was Luffy's dream to ring that bell, so you could kind of say it's inherited to a degree. Maybe not, but to a degree. All right, let's continue. So, where were we? We talked about the examples. Okay, so that's right. Starting from the first chapter up till now, the story has always been following this pattern. I'm quite surprised myself. We've been through this pattern over and over again, though I'm sure very few people are aware of it. I call it the goading pattern because Goldie Roger created it. But the thing is, did Goldie Roger create it? You know, who's to say Goldie? You know, if Goldie Roger, let's say, you know, because I believe him and Luffy inherited Joy Boy's will. You know what I'm saying? And you look at how Luffy almost kind of lives to a lot of Luffy's philosophies. A lot of Luffy's philosophies are they mirror Goldie Roger's philosophies. You know, like they share some of the same philosophies. So if that's the case, if they share some of the philosophies, then maybe if let's say they inherited Joy Boy's will, indeed, maybe they share Joy Boy's philosophies. You know what I'm saying? So if that is indeed the case, then maybe Joy Boy created those three philosophies. You know what I'm saying? The philosophy. What was it? It was man's dream, the flow of time, inherited will. Maybe Joy Boy created that, but Goldie Roger was probably just the first person we heard say that. You know what I'm saying? So, where was I? Okay, yeah, that's where I was. My bad. So he said, okay, make sure you guys see it. I want you guys to see what I'm putting. So that's right. From the start, from the first chapter, the story has always been following this pattern. I'm quite surprised myself. We've been through the pattern over and over again, though I'm very sure very few people are aware of it. I call it the golden pattern because Goldie Roger created it. This makes me think, wouldn't Roger has the pattern of his own will? My curiosity was finally answered in chapter 576. Okay, I can't pull up the spoiler to show what they showed, you know. So if somebody's on 576, he I wish he would have put a page, but he's just saying spoiler and I can't see anything. Sorry guys, we can't get the chapter to really, you know, show what the guy's getting at. All right, so apparently Goldie Roger. Okay, so apparently Roger had this will, a will that has been inherited for 100 years, and he waited for a certain someone to carry on this will. Somehow, it also has something to do with One Piece. So what is that? So what is this all about? What was Roger's will exactly? Roger's dream. The golden pattern starting from here everything is 100% theory. Before I go on, I want to say, because he said this is probably going to be a pretty long theory. I might not be able to cover all of them. If I cover every single theory, this could be a very, very long stream. So I might not even be able to carry all. I might not even be able to talk about every theory within this one thread. Because this specific theory, I'm just on one theory right now, and it's a pretty lengthy theory. It's looking to be a pretty lengthy theory. So, the golden pattern, starting from here, okay. Let me pull it up on screen. The golden pattern, starting from here, everything is 100% theory. Men's dream, Roger's will that Whitebeard was talking about it actually wasn't the original will. Roger inherited it as well from way back then, from 800 years ago to be precise. Yes, it was originally the will of the ancient kingdoms. Let's call it AK from now on. I don't know if I would say it's the will of the ancient kingdom, like the whole kingdom. I would probably say it might have been like Joy Boy's will. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think there was a bunch. Like, I'm not sure if I would say it was a bunch of people that believed that way. Because then you probably got like a bunch of Luffy's living, a bunch of Goldie Rogers and a bunch of Luffy's living. I would say it might have been, and this is just my theory. This is just my theory. I would say it was probably just Joy Boy's theory, or if there was somebody who before Joy Boy that might have had that will, and maybe Joy Boy inherited. I don't know, but I would, as far as we know, Joy Boy is probably the oldest key character in the story. He's the oldest key character in the story, so we're just going to say it's a will that they inherited from Joy Boy. That's kind of what I'm gonna go by. So the ancient kingdom was a big kingdom. It ruled over almost the whole world, just like the world government does now. They apparently also had a pretty advanced civilization. One could say that there's almost nothing that they couldn't achieve with everything they got at the time. However, they had an issue. Excuse me. However, they had an issue. As we know, the planet of OP contains of big four seas. Again, horrible seas: east, west, north, and south. And I'm sorry to say this about the author who did this. Maybe you just, English isn't your first language, so I'm sorry. Like, I shouldn't say it's horrible grammar, but the grammar is just kind of messing me up. The grammar on here is kind of messing me up. They apparently also had a pretty advanced civilization. One could say that there's almost nothing that they couldn't achieve with everything they got at the time. However, they had an issue. As we know, the planet of OP contains. Did I just feel like I read that already? I'm gonna just read that again. I probably kind of lost track, but so I'm gonna just read it. I'm gonna yeah, I think I skipped that one. However, they had an issue. As we know, the planet of OP contains of big four seas: east, west, north, and south. Each were separated by the Grand Line and the Red Line and the Grand Line. The ancient kingdom saw the Red Sea and Grand Line as a big obstacle because they have been preventing people from traveling from one sea to another, thus preventing the ancient kingdom from reaching its full prosperity as well. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that. This might end up this might end up just being one theory. This might just be one theory that I might go over. This might be the main theory because I know I'm gonna keep stopping, and that's just gonna prolong this video. So okay, so what he just said is there was 4 seas, right? We know we got the East Blue, the West Blue, the North Blue, and the South Blue. Then we got the Grand Line and the Red Line that separates each of these seas. And what he's saying is that the ancient kingdom was a very prosperous society, very prosperous civilization, but the thing was they couldn't fully live up to that potential of being the best they could be because of the Grand Line and the Red Line. So what I'm kind of predicting he's going to go, where I'm predicting he's going, is that their goal is going to be destroy the Grand Line and the Red Line in order to, live their best, and that's where the other group of people may come in and have a problem with that, and they're going to want to put a stop to that because maybe they benefit off of having the Red Line and Grand Line, or they just might already oppose them, so they might just use this as an excuse to go to war with the ancient kingdom. But yeah. Okay, and before I continue, and I will also go as the venture to say that might have been why they created the ancient weapons. Pluton, which is, for what we know, it's a ship, a big ship that can destroy islands. And then we have Poseidon, who we have a confirmation of what Poseidon is. Poseidon is actual character, and I would assume it's kind of a will that's passed on from, individual to individual, and it might be passed on throughout the years. It might take a while to pass on to the next generation, to whoever it is. And what we know now is that Poseidon is Shirahoshi, Princess Shirahoshi, the princess of the Fishman Island Kingdom, right? The mermaid and the fishman, right? So we know that she is Poseidon, and which makes sense that she would be the one to inherit Poseidon because Joy Boy, the person who inherited, I would say, in Joy Boy's will, is Luffy. Luffy is probably, Luffy is the modern Joy Boy. We don't know if Joy Boy is a code, if Joy Boy was the name of a person or just that person's, like, their code name. You know what I'm saying? Like, Joy Boy could have just been the code name of that person, or it could have been their actual name. But Luffy is going to be, he inherited Joy Boy, or Joy Boy's spirit, or whatever you want to say. At least, that's what, that's the theory, at least. That's what we assume. So Shirahoshi inherited Poseidon. We don't know who the last person to inherit Poseidon, if there was a last person. But she inherited, and you gotta look at the timing of it. She was meant to be that. Just like Luffy was meant to inherit Joy Boy and be born when he was born, and not during Goldie Roger's time. Shirahoshi was meant to be born, and she was meant to be born when she was, and inherit Poseidon when she did, because it's pretty much time for this destiny to happen. So things are just kind of falling into place, and then the final ancient weapon that we are familiar with that we don't really know anything about is uh Uranus. Pause. Uranus. Pause. But so we don't really know much about that. At least not now. And yeah. So I would assume that these three weapons were meant to, going by this theory, these three weapons could have been made by the ancient kingdom, and their purpose was basically to destroy the red line and the grand line. You know, at least with the theory out there, we assume that Luffy's going to destroy the red line, which is above Fishman Island. Inherently, uh, destroying Fishman Island as a byproduct of destroying the red line, and because we know that Madam Shirley predicted that Luffy would be the one that Luffy will destroy Fishman Island, and he hasn't yet. So, and her, what do they call her predictions are usually known to be accurate, you know, and usually true. So, that's why a lot of theories, that's why a lot of people assume that Luffy is going to destroy the red line. And going by this theory, it's kind of backing that as well. At least that's what I'm getting from the theory. But let's continue. However, they had an. I already read that. Okay, so let's go on up. That was the last one. Okay, and so they made this project an insane one, but has to be done. The project was about eliminating the Red Line and Grand Line to fuse the four seas into one big ocean, the United Ocean. Uh, they called it the project of One Piece. In order to do so, they started to build some weapons which will be strong enough to destroy the Red Line, later called ancient weapons. Well, I assume they're called ancient weapons because they're old weapons. Like back in their day, they didn't call them ancient weapons. It wasn't until the current day, looking back at it and saying, okay, those are some ancient weapons. So, you know, but then there's, I'll, before I go into, I kind of want to give another little theory of my own about the ancient weapon. It's not mine. Somebody, I think I don't know, I can't remember what YouTuber said it, but it always kind of stuck in the back of my mind, right? So the theory is that the ancient weapons, or that the Sunny, right? The Sunny is Pluton. Maybe not Pluton, but it is modeled after Pluton. Because if we think about it, we got who Frankie and probably Iceberg are the only two people who probably the only two people living that seen the blueprints of Pluton. They're the only two living with that seen the blueprints and have the capability of rebuilding Pluton. And if that's the case, we know Sunny had the blueprints, and we know how great of a shipbuilder that Frankie is. Did I say Sunny, or I meant Frankie? But we know how great of a builder Frankie is, and he probably know them like he's a smart guy, so he probably know them blueprints like the back of his hand, like the back of his hand. So when he was building the Sunny, I would assume that he also probably incorporated some of Pluton's blueprints into Sunny, like that beam that Sunny shoots out. The what's it called? Somebody in chat remind me. The beam that Sunny shoots out. I would assume that might have came from the blueprints of Pluton, and maybe even the Coupe de Burst. That could possibly be another feature that Sonny added to Sonny, or that Frankie added to the Sonny, or incorporated to the Sonny from Pluton. So yeah, so you know, kind of my theory is just saying that the Sonny is a miniature version of Pluton, which you know could potentially be the tool used in order to destroy the red line. Let's continue. All right. It turned out that not everyone was pleased by this project. Politics. Some other kingdoms were totally against it. They smell conspiracy was playing behind it, but the ancient kingdoms stood their ground no matter what. Guess what happened next? A huge war broke out. It's the ancient kingdom versus 20 kingdoms who are against the project of One Piece. So yeah, because we know that the current world government is incorporated by, I want to say, the 20 kingdoms. Like, you know, I don't know if 20 that's the exact number. I don't know if it's more or less, but the world government is comprised of a bunch of kingdoms. And each of those kingdoms, like each royal family to those kingdoms, after the world government was created, they eventually became celestial dragons. And out of all the kingdoms, I think I want to say it was Alabasta and Dressrosa that kind of decided to not join the celestial dragons. I know it was, or hold on. Don Quixote, like the Quixote family, right? They were celestials, you know, but and they used to lord over Dressrosa. So Doflamingo's family used to lord over Dressrosa. They used to be the royal family of Dressrosa, but then they became celestial dragons, and uh, Doflamingo's father decided, like, okay, I don't want to be a celestial dragon no more. I want to go back to being, I want to go back to being with the populate the normal people, which Doflamingo didn't like that, and that's inherently turning, you know, to the dark side, I guess. And with Alabasta, the King Riku, the his family, I think they were the only family that decided not to become celestial dragons. They decided to stay in Alabasta and lord over their kingdom in Alabasta. So there was also that. The 20 kingdoms came out as the victor, and they declared themselves as the world government. Meanwhile, the ancient kingdom was reduced to shreds along with all their history, and the One Piece project was never heard again since then. All right, so that was, I want to say that was a man's dream. Now we go to the flow of time. Unexpectedly, the, the ancient kingdom has anticipated their downfall. Before the war begun, they had carved historical notes on these certain metals, which, as hard as diamond, called the poneglyphs. That would make sense. I mean, I'm not I'm not against where he's going so far. I'm not against where he's going. That makes sense. And hid them throughout the world, along with the weapons they've built. The ancient kingdom really wanted to make sure that their desires wouldn't die in case of anything bad happened to them. Uh, Hold on. I kind of want to before I continue. I also want to say I believe that in his theory, right? In his theory, I want to say that the fishmen must have played a role in the ancient kingdom. Like they must have been part of the ancient kingdom as well. Possibly the Minx, I would think. You know, especially the Minx connection with uh the Minx connection with the Odin's family, right? But then again, the Minx connection kind of started with Odin, so I don't really know. I don't really know about the Minx, but at least the Fishmen, because if if the ancient kingdoms if the ancient kingdom created these weapons, then Poseidon being one of the weapons, I would assume has to be a fishman. So I would think that like the fishmen were part of the ancient kingdom as well, and that's probably why they also get uh, discriminated against as well, because they were part of the ancient kingdom, and the world government, as we see now, don't like the fishermen because of that. So they might treat them like second class citizens or something. Wait, let's continue. I just wanted to say that. So, so I'm gonna start over. Unexpectedly, the ancient kingdom has anticipated their downfall before the war begun. They had carved historical notes on these certain metals, which is hard as diamond, called the poneglyphs, and hid them throughout the world along with the weapons they've built. The ancient kingdom really wanted to make sure that their desires wouldn't die in case of anything bad happened to them. The world government was mad with this fact and completely prohibited any form of poneglyph deciphering. But it's too late. The will has been passing through ages since then, silently waiting for someone's to receive the message. Okay, yeah. Yeah. So in summary, what they were saying is the world government kind of they knew that they had a potential that they were potentially running to their downfall, right? Achieving this, maybe they knew that this ambitious thing that they were overtaking would ruffle some feathers, so they was like, just in case we fall, just in case we lose this war, or just in case we have rebels that go against us and we lose that, let's ensure our success by creating these poneglyphs, putting our message in these poneglyphs and everything. And let me see what he said. So so the world government was pissed. They like, we can't destroy these things. So these things are here. So what better way we can prevent people from receiving this message from this ancient goal, this old goal that we must stop. We can't destroy them, so we just gotta stop people from being able to read these things. We gotta outlaw the ability to decipher poneglyphs. With hence the O'Hara incident, and hence why Robin is, had like a big bounty since a child. So yeah, that makes sense. I can see where they're going with that, but problem is Robin is still alive. They failed at that. They failed at that, and unless they're, but that also will lead me. That will also lead me to think. Going back to Fishman Island, right? We are introduced to Puddin. A three-eye, this young Big Mom's daughter who is from the Three-Eye tribe, and basically Big Mom implies that when Puddin is able to awaken her her eye, she could gain the ability to read the poneglyphs. And if that is the case, I would assume that the world government must have they had to see the three-eyed tribe as a threat, right? They had to see that they could potentially be a threat if all these three-eyed people are awakening their third eye, and they have a group of people that can read the poneglyphs, right? So if that's the case, we don't really see many three-eyed people. You know, we don't really see many uh, three-eyed characters. So far, Puddin is the only one we are that's confirmed. Okay, and some people believe Who's Who could potentially be a member of Three Eyed. You know, because they have that eye symbol. You know, he heavily has that eye symbol, but he also keeps a mask on the top of his head, which couldn't make sense to why he covers it, because he keeps being a someone from the Three Eye Tribe a secret, so the world government don't come after him heavy, you know. And with Puddin, you know, she's always kind of under Big Mom, so you know she does. I don't think she really leaves. Uh, I don't think she really leaves under Big Mom. But with that being said, you know, when we had the wedding, right? We had the wedding. We had Stussy there, who was an agent. She's a CP0 agent under the world government, so she might be aware of Puddin's existence, you know, or well, I mean, she's aware of it because she's seen Puddin, you know. But then again, Puddin, I think, had her eye covered, so maybe Stussy didn't see Puddin's third eye, so therefore she has nothing to report to the world government, and Puddin is still pretty safe, I would think, her secret at least. But yeah, but yeah, just kind of playing into maybe we don't see many three-eyed characters, like characters from the three-eyed tribe, because maybe a lot of them were eliminated as well. Maybe they're kind of an extinct race as well, you know. Okay, so let's go to the inherited will. 800 years has passed. A pirate named Roger successfully reached Raftel, which we know now as Laftel, and discovered the true history. He knows exactly what to do, but unfortunately, his body didn't allow him to. He had this incurable disease, remember, whereas the project needs a lot of power and time to complete, to two things that Roger didn't have that time. Okay, so you know this again, this theory might be a little outdated in some aspects, because what we know now of Roger, it wasn't just the disease, but I mean that probably also played a part as well, but it just wasn't Roger's time, you know. Like we know when Roger went to Fishman Island and he heard the Sea Kings talking, him and Odin, right? And they were talking about how, like, you know, the Mermaid Princess will be born in such time. I can't remember in a couple years, or you know, you know, it was pretty much implying that, you know, will we learn that Roger, even when he found Laugh right? You know, he said he wished he could have met Joy Boy, but we we know that Roger just, it wasn't Roger's time. He just wasn't the person to usher in this era, you know, because of what we know is it's going to be Luffy. It's his job. This is all up to him. You know, Roger might have been the closest, but regardless how close he wasn't it. You know, he wasn't that guy to to achieve, you know, this thing, because he found the One Piece. So I would assume the One Piece is what you need in order to achieve, you know, unite the world. And he found it, but he couldn't do anything about it. Yes, one, because his body was, you know, he was dying, but two, it just wasn't him. You know, he wasn't the chosen one. It wasn't his destiny or his fate, whichever one you wanna, you know, say. All right, so it says, I therefore he decided to create the golden age of piracy instead, hoping that there will appear someone who is strong and righteous enough to complete the message in his place, who will be the someone. I think we all know the answer to that. Yeah, it's Luffy, of course. But okay, so kind of I mean, I already kind of spoke on that. Like, Roger, Roger, Roger came along, found the One Piece. You know, he learned the secrets of the world and everything. But come to find out, it just wasn't. It wasn't Roger. You know, the One Piece was found 20 years too early. It was just found 20 years too early. So, but we know it's up. It's Luffy. You know, Luffy is the one who he's the one to not only inherit Joy Boy's will, but also to move this goal to unite the world. You know, not destroy Fisherman Island, right? By destroying the 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 red line, you know, and potentially eventually probably the Grand Line as well. But to destroy the red line and ultimately destroy Fishman, unite all the seas. That's pretty much Luffy. Roger wasn't that guy, you know. As close as he was, even if he didn't get sick, even if Roger didn't get sick, he still was 20 years too early, you know, because I'm pretty sure Poseidon is needed in order for according to Kingfisher, you know, the guy who made this theory. According to him, you need all the. I would assume that you need the ancient weapons, and Poseidon wasn't born at that time, so you know, Goldie Roger wouldn't have been able to complete it. You know, he wouldn't have been able to finish the mission, I guess. So he wasn't the chosen one. But okay, so we got some more. So this the project of One Piece. All right. Now, how exactly? Let me see if okay, these are going to be the pages of the chapters. So, now, how exactly does this project work? Will fusing four seas into a united ocean make Luffy's journey worthy? Let me explain it. It's going to be a bit technical, so I will include some illusions or illustrations, not illusions. Illustrations. So here is roughly how global, the globe looked like. Wow, oh, I don't know why I'm doing that. So let me do something real quick because I want to check these chapters out. So guys, work with me here. Work with me. Work with me here. We're gonna he said chapter 51, right? We're gonna go to never mind. I'm not signed into my Shonen Jump account. But hold on, maybe hold on. He said chapter 51, page 4. One Piece chapter 51. We're just going to have to use a one of the scan sites in order to later. No. Chapter 51. Okay, chapters don't want to show up. Let's try a different. Let's try a different one. Page 4. Okay. Just gotta wait to load. I don't know why I want to take so long to load. I'm give that possibly a chance to load. I don't know if it's going to load. We got one. We got one that loaded. These loaded. Refresh. No. All right. It's not. It doesn't want to load. I'm really hoping they don't show nothing, you know, explicit on these sites. And I don't want to play on them sites. Not on not on here. They might show something explicit, and I'm not trying to deal with that. And I can't pull up my shonen thing because I'm logged in right now. I forgot my login thing. So if you're reading, if you're like reading, following along, just go to chapter 51. 51 page 4. And then there's chapter 71 page 4, So y'all could check that out. I don't want to spend too much time trying to find those, but we have something. So saying this is the flat world version, East Blue, and we get all these Grand Line. I don't see the other C, so I don't know. But okay, let's just get back to the theory. I don't want to spend too much time trying to look for that. So okay, so he says the idea of One Piece is to create a united ocean, a perfect ocean to sell. Therefore, we have two jobs: fusing all the seas into one and eliminating Grand Line abnormality. Grand Line's abnormality is that even possible? Apparently, it is possible for the ancient kingdom scientists. The trick is to destroy a spot where every sea on the planet, north, west, east, south, Grand Line, New World, and Calm Belt meet in one place. There is a spot like that. Actually, there are two, and both need to be destroyed. The two spots are Reverse Mountain and Marijoa Fishman Island. Okay? I kind of would have thought it would have been the All Blue. Because from what we got from Sanji, the All Blue is pretty much the All Blue is pretty much where all the seas meet, and then you get all the fish from every ocean, there, and it's just quality fish, right? So that would be the All Blue. But the thing is there really an All Blue? I would say yes and no. I would say first I'm gonna say no because at the moment it doesn't exist. Because all like the theory says, all the seas are separated, but they meet at those locations that he says in the he says right here. The trick is to destroy a spot where every sea on the planet, north, west, east, south, Grand Line, New World, and Calm Belt meet in one place, and those are Reverse Mountain and Mary Joa slash Fishman Island. Okay, but the thing is, Reverse Mountain and Mary Joa is separating these seas and oceans, or these seas, right? So where I say yes is once you destroy that, that's where the all blue is created. So no, the all blue does not exist at the moment, but when you know once those things are destroyed, that's when we see the all blue. That's when the all blue is created. So my thing, I think the myth of the all blue was created by in the ancient kingdom, like just kind of going, just kind of you know lashing on to his theory. The myth of the all blue was created in the ancient kingdom as a way to almost inspire this project that they were creating in order to unite the whole oceans, you know. So that's kind of what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is an actual all blue that does currently exist without the destruction of Mary Joa or Reverse Mountain. But let's continue. Okay, it says a simple illustration. Okay, so here we kind of see the illustration. We got the Grand Line, we got the East Blue, right? And then we got Reverse Mountain. Sometimes the One Piece map kind of confused me. I'm not gonna lie. So so okay. So here's the illustration. I'm not. I don't want to speak too much because I'm a little confused at the moment. I kind of thought the East Blue went exactly into the Grand Line, but according to this map, if when they entered through Reverse Mountain on the red line, they I guess they would have turned into the Grand Line where Laboon is. Yeah. So I'm guessing they would have came through here. They would have came through this part of the mountain, and instead of going to the West Blue, maybe all the currents are going straight. They're pushing into the Grand Line, right? So North Blue gets you pushed into the Grand Line, which makes sense. Then West Blue, which also makes sense. East and South Blue kind of don't, because you would think that they would go into North Blue or West Blue, but I guess they kind of make a 90-degree turn into the Grand Line, and that's how Luffy got into the Grand Line by making that turn. Or maybe it's kind of like I don't really. It's a little confusing, but like the One Piece map is a little confusing to me. So let's continue. So okay, he said, and here is the meeting spot, right? And this meeting spot, I would assume is where you would get the all blue if you destroy the red line, right? Because you can't really destroy the Grand Line because the Grand Line is just like a sea. So, but you destroy the red line, and then this is where I would assume would be the all blue as well. It's where they all these seas meet. Then we got the New World, and I think in order to get to the New World, you go you know, all the way through the Grand Line, and then the red line the red line kind of wraps around the globe, right? So you will go all the way through the end of the Grand Line, and you'll eventually uh, encounter the red line again, and that's where you destroy that, and then you destroy that part of the red line. It's kind of what I'm getting at. Fishman Island is on the other side though. But yeah, so they would probably destroy Reverse Mountain and or the other side of the red line where Fishman Island is also. You would destroy those two spots, or maybe you only need to destroy one. I don't know. You know. Well, I would think both. I would think both. What do you guys think? So so it said, think for a minute here. It made sense. Mary Joa, Fishman Island, also had a similar geography, minus the reverse canals. The meeting spots are set. Next, the ancient weapons will do their job, annihilating those spots. Yes, I can see that being the case. Okay, let's do it to Reverse Mountain first. So he got to let's see if he got another map. Bam. Bam. That's him destroying it. Even with the mighty power of the ancient weapons, the annihilation must be calculated and done correctly to get the wanted effect. It succeeded this. What will happen next? So okay, that's this is pretty much what it looks like without the reverse mountain, right? Everything meets the new world, the Grand Line. I would assume the calm belts would probably I would assume the calm belts would probably eventually like disappear possibly with this new. I would think that there it would create some currents that would probably eventually destroy the calm belts possibly. I don't know. Then he says losing a huge mass of land, the sea becomes even more unstable than before. A big whirl, a big whirlpool will appear on the center of the destruction spot. Storms and tidal waves occurring everywhere. However, they're only temporary. After a couple days, the raging storms shall be subsided, and then the magic began. Disastrous, random weather on Grand Line um, and the New World suddenly doesn't occur anymore. The magnetic field, which make a normal compass useless, are completely gone. Even the wind starting to blow on the calm belt. How about sea monsters? Well, there is the time where Poseidon came come to play. The Poseidon has fully taken control of sea kings and make them some kind of police of the ocean to prevent other sea monsters from going wild. Yes, I do think that is very possible. The ideal united ocean is finally created. The project of One Piece officially succeeded. So what I'm kind of getting. So okay, basically, kind of summarize what you just said is basically you destroy that spot, right? You destroy that spot, and after destroying that spot, for a while it gets unstable because you got all these different ocean seas mixing in, and their currents kind of pushing. So it might take a while to actually for the desired effect to set, and but afterwards, it eventually calms, and then eventually becomes peaceful and becomes normal. Because maybe what I'm assuming based off this theory is that the Grand Line disrupts disrupts the world, the planet, because it's not natural. But I don't. But where I would go is, how is it not natural if it was always there? Did somebody put that up there? Was the Grand Line created? Maybe somebody had like Pika's Devil Fruit and created the Red Line. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the Red Line was created by somebody who wielded Pika's Devil Fruit. You know, and this also kind of makes me think that this theory is implying that what the One Piece is this strategy. It's it's really just the blueprint on how to unite the world. This plan that this project that the the ancient kingdom created was they put it into the One Piece. So it's more just instructions on the One Piece is the One Piece that we all know of, that we all always kind of theorize what it is all it really is it's just a plan, and it kind of actually goes with my theory. Well, one of my theories I have of what the One Piece is. I personally believe that the One Piece might be a big poneglyph, right? Maybe now we got all these different poneglyphs. We got all these different poneglyphs, right? We got the roll poneglyphs. We got the normal poneglyphs that just got, you know, information about history. What I would think the One Piece is a big poneglyph that has, like my theory used to be that it just has all the history of the world, but this theory kind of makes my theory. It kind of focuses my theory instead of just the history of the world, like all the history of the world. This is instructions to how to unite the world. I also that was also I think I also said that before. I think that the One Piece is a big poneglyph that has information on how to unite the world. Now it wasn't like this in depth though. It wasn't to destroy the Red Line or nothing. Like I didn't go that deep into the theory, but I looked at it as possibly maybe some information like the history on the ancient kingdom, and it will give the modern age history on how to destroy the world, right? So, but if that is the case, why didn't Goldie Roger try to accomplish it? He had Odin to decipher this quote unquote poneglyph. He had Odin to decipher it, so he could easily be like, "Hey, before I die, let's do this." Now maybe it just takes a while to do it. You need to have the ancient weapons. You need to have all these things, and Roger just didn't have those, so he was like, "I can't complete this. I don't know where. I don't have Poseidon. I don't have Poseidon in order to complete this. I don't know, or I don't have Pluton either. So he's like, that's just not me. This is without my scope. I'm gonna die within a year. This is just beyond me. I'm not gonna live to see Poseidon. This is just This is beyond me, right? So it can still be that. It can still indeed be that. And why I say it could be on a poneglyph is because if it's like some big golden poneglyph with these instructions, let's say they did that, so even if the world government did find the One Piece, they couldn't destroy it. They couldn't destroy the poneglyph. They couldn't do anything about it. So, you know, who's to say the world government hasn't found the One Piece? If they found the One Piece, then they they could have destroyed it. But if it's a poneglyph, they couldn't destroy it. So I kind of think it could be like a big poneglyph, a golden poneglyph, and this theory kind of makes me add on the fact that maybe it's the instructions to uniting the all the seas, right, or uniting the world by uniting these seas. So I'm actually kind of like when I said it could be a gold poneglyph before. I think it might have been a discussion I had with people, but when I said that, it actually kind of made me a little more confident in that theory. Bro, I might have to make a video. I might have to make a video. And this video right here is this theory is kind of like piggybacking off of this theory is kind of giving my theory, at least in my head, a little more credence. You know, it's making me actually believe my theory a little more. But yeah, so let's get back to this. So it says, ideal united ocean has finally created. The project of One Piece officially succeeded. But is that it? It's not. There's actually one more after effect, and it's the most important one. The big whirlpool that appeared after destruction of Reverse Mountain. It happens because the water mass of the four seas simultaneously flowed into the center of destruction. The place where Reverse Mountain once stood, or was stood once, logically, that means every kind of living thing which originally lives in four seas were brought there as well. You literally could find every fish species from all over the world. Wait, was that sound familiar? Exactly. The destruction spot has become the legendary mythical sea, the All Blue. Yeah, I said it. That's why I said the All Blue. It do and it don't exist. Like, it doesn't exist currently, but it's a myth. But that don't mean like there's no truth to it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, once the red line is destroyed, then that's when all these oceans are connected. That's when we get the one sea with all the fish. You know. So yeah, the United Ocean and the legendary All Blue. At least six of Straw Hat's dream will be accomplished because of this achievement. Luffy, he wanted to be king of pirates, the man who has the most freedom in the ocean. Now that the ocean has been united, Luffy has literally achieved this feat. I mean, but in that case, all the other pirates got the same amount of freedom as well. So, are they pirate kings as well? I mean, just kind of my own. But I think it's more than just the freedom. But I do think the freedom does play a big part in being the pirate king. Sanji, it's obvious it's obvious he finally found the All Blue. Nami, now that the entire ocean is free to sail, drawing world map is not so impossible anymore. Yeah, I can see that. Frankie, same reason with Nami. Sunny can now travel all over the world. True, true, true. Robin, all of this happened because she found um, out the true history. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And then Brooke. Ever wonder how Brooke will return to the Twin Cape to meet the Boon? It seemed impossible because of the reverse mountain was in the way, but now it's gone. They'll meet again with ease. And Binks Saki will be played along with their emotional reunion, as well as there will be the biggest party that we ever see in One Piece. Kind of playing off to this this theory video I'm watching with O'Hara, Arthur of O'Hara. Is he's doing a bunch of episodes with that he found with the One Pieces. So I want to hear his theory, see how it kind of coincides with I want to finish his theory and then maybe go back to this theory and see how they both coincide. See if he believes the One Piece is also, you know, maybe a pornoglyph like I believe that's given instructions in order to uh, it's a project that's in order to destroy the red line. And then it says, Now, how about the spot at Mary Jola, Fishman Island? The Promised Day. Yeah, this is a pretty long theory. It's a pretty long theory video. Um, Image is no longer okay. No longer. Let me see how much I got. Okay, we almost to that. We almost to that. Okay, this mermaid, she didn't lie at all, nor nor was she wrong. She was actually foreseeing the event we've been talking about, the project of One Piece, and it is indeed Luffy who will trigger the event. Yes, I kind of mentioned that. You know, be it again, this is an old theory, and a lot of other theories that I've probably heard kind of go back to this. So I probably regurgitated a few stuff that came from this specific theory. The ancestors of Fishman Island were actually well aware of this upcoming event. How so? Here's another theory. Joy Boy, he was actually the king of the um, ancient kingdom. Okay, hey, that could be the case. I don't know. I'm not going to argue that. I don't. I kind of like the idea of Joy Boy kind of being more of a rebellious character, like Luffy, who, you know, he just likes to be free, and he doesn't really like titles such as. I mean, well, he does want to be king of the pirates, so I don't know, but being the king, actually, like that type of king, being the king of actual kingdom, that's a lot of responsibility, and it takes away a lot of freedom to just go do whatever you want. Luffy doesn't want to be a king, as in, you know, having a lord over land in the kingdom. He just wants to be free. But again, Joy Boy, I don't know. Okay, I know that sounds so random. There's a theory for that, but let's save it for later. Like I said, destroying both Reverse Mountain and Fishman Island is a must to complete the project. Therefore, King Joy Boy made a proposal of destroying Fishman Island to the former mermaid princess, Poseidon. She agreed, but as an exchange, she asked Joy Boy to move her people to a better place on the surface. Joy Boy gave a nod and started building Noah's Ark afterwards. Joy Boy managed to finish Noah, but shortly after this kingdom lost a great battle against the 20 kingdoms. The promise cannot be fulfilled, and he apologized to Poseidon through poneglyphs. However, he still promised her that day would eventually come into the future, the day when Fishman and Mermaid live under the sun. You see, the Oda use another golden pattern here, again here. Okay? So, conclusion. So he's about to wrap this thing up. So, conclusion. The Promised Day and Madame Shirley prediction, they are actually the same thing. The scenario is pretty simple. At the Promised Day, Luffy will trigger the attack on the destruction spot, but before that, Shirahoshi will command the Sea Kings to move all of Fishman Island citizens to a safer place by using Noah, which kind of confuses me. It's like, why? I mean, unless they're moving the actual island, but if it's just the citizens that need to leave, they're fishermen. They could swim. They could just swim away and be safe. They don't need a ship to carry them. At least I wouldn't think. I wouldn't think they need a ship to carry them away from Fishman Island when they could just swim away. But that's neither here nor there. All right. So once destroyed, once destroyed the make sure once destroyed, the same magic which happened to Reverse Mountain Spot will also happen here. The All Blue will appear, replace the destruction spot. mermaid and fishman will move here later and make a brand new civilization around the sunny tree of Eve. But which kind of lead me to believe if the tree of Eve is in Mary Joa and Mary Joa gets destroyed, wouldn't the tree also get destroyed? So I'm just saying, how would they salvage the tree of Eve if the tree of Eve is indeed in that location? Well, it is, because that's where fishermen get their sunlight from. So yeah, I would think the tree of Eve will also possibly get destroyed as well. If Sunny Tree has the same reputation with Adam Tree, it will completely survive the destruction. There are illustrations for this, but I lost it somewhere. Meanwhile, this is also marked the end of world government's reign because Mary Joa, the prime symbol of world government, was buried alongside Fishman Island. In the process, Luffy finally won his world war against the world government. I actually kind of disagree with that. I don't think the world government will go away. I think they will. I think the world government will just. I kind of think like there will be a internal war in the world government, possibly. Well, the world government, but maybe not the Marines. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not the Marine. Maybe the world government will go away, but I don't know if the Marines will go away. I think the Marines might. Some Marines might eventually kind of betray other Marines, like like think of Sword, right? Sword, they might actually fight with like Luffy in them. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you think about people who might be in Sword that we know of. We got Kobe and Drake, ex Drake, who are part of Sword that we know of, and they're friends. Well, at least Kobe is, but after Wano, I'm pretty sure Drake is going to be on good terms with Luffy as well. Smoker might be part of Sword as well, and he has a history with Luffy. He sees Luffy as kind of a, like necessary. I think Luffy has won Smoker over, and I could see him fighting. So I could see some Marines being on one point that they want to change what the Marines are, and then we have like the traditional Marines, maybe like Akainu, if Akainu isn't indeed part of Sword as well, but Akainu might, because I kind of think that Akainu might actually, like, he could potentially be part of Sword and be against the world government by the end of the series, because when we see Akainu, he kind of he look at the world like, I feel as though when he talks to, he usually has a lot of, he seems like he has a little anger against the world government because they do a lot of stuff, like they step on his toes of authority, so I could see a kind of, I know a lot of people like, Kaido's bad, blah, 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 but it's like, I mean, he did kill Ace, so, maybe there is no redemption for him, but, I kind of take that clue that he has that sword on his shoulder as him possibly being part of Sword, because he's not a swordsman, and why else would he have a sword on a sword tattoo? You know what I mean? And we see he has a lot of squabbles with the Celestial Dragons, with them doing stuff without his knowledge. So he might eventually be like, you know what, I don't, I want to change the world too. But then again, Akainu might not, But Kiji as well. Kiji, he seems redeemable. Like, he might actually be on Sword side of reforming the Marines. So I could see the Marines staying around after this whole thing is finished and possibly creating a new world government. A reformed world government. So, but yeah, let's wrap this up. So, he said, meanwhile, this will also end this will also mark the end of world government's reign, because Mary Joa, the prime symbol of world government, was buried alongside Fishman Island in the process. Luffy finally won the war against the world government. So okay, so it says rough chronology. Mary Joa and Fishman Island. If you look from above, with Mary Joa and Fishman Island are located on the same place, destructions are inevitable for both. True. So this is pretty much kind of what the Eve tree looks like. I'm assuming this is Mary Joa. F is Mary Joa. B is pretty much the red line. C is going to be the ocean, and E is where that little bubble in Fishman Island starts, and D is Fishman Island, and then you got the roots, and it kind of explains it in this little thing right here. You got Pluton doing his job, bam, 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 destroying it. And the after effects would be the tree still surviving. So, he believes that the tree will survive this destruction. And we'll just have a tree right there. The sunny tree is completely survived the destruction. B is going to be the place where merfolk will build their new civilization. C is going to be the all blue, the other all blue. And D is just the debris. Okay. And you got aerial view. So this is pretty much going to be the United Ocean, the all blue. Make sure you guys can see it. Then, yeah. It's going to be that. And then he has some related theories. And I'm not going to, Okay, let's read, because it said related theories why no one could reach Raftel, right? Laftel is what we know now. Is now look at the okay, it said now look at the last page. Let me pull that up. The wishes of our ancestors have long been fulfilled. Chief. So I'm assuming this is like a kind of like a fan thing. I'm gonna stretch this out so you guys can see this. So you guys can see what I'm seeing. I don't know why it's not. All right, I'm gonna have to cover myself. All right, so it says, we came here, found the text, and followed its guidance. Go D. Roger. The Pirate King, so he also comes to the Sky Island. Furthermore, he also knew the ancient language. Roger, you said, do you know him? 20 years ago, there was such a this looked like that one god in Skypiea. I forget his name. It's like I forgot his name. He was like the previous god of Skypiea before Enel came along. He said 20 years ago was such a glitz on Sky Island. He it's like Gandalf or Gyarados or something like that. He said that he was a pirate of the Blue Sea. Can he be the same person who carved that message? Okay, and that's going to be one of them. Let's go to the next one. I can't watch it. Can't see it. Can't see that one either. And the last one said, the wishes of our ancestors have long been fulfilled. So we kind of missed 2 pages or 3 pages. We couldn't see. That wasn't there. That is correct. This also means that I must follow the guidance given Make sure you guys can see that. This okay, so I'm gonna read it again. It said, the wishes of our ancestors have long been fulfilled. Chief, chief. And we got Robin. That is correct. This also means that I must follow the guidance given by the tablets I have read so far to the ending point of the Grand Line. Miss History expert, I heard that your party also desires, since in the Blue Sea gold is more valuable than land. I cannot give you the bell itself, but how about this broken pillar? Yeah, that is a great idea, Chief. Take that as a symbol of our gratitude. Okay, I don't really go in here. All right, let me kind of do my thing again because it done made me have to change my size. All right, we back to normal. All right, so it says, now look at the last page. This also means I must follow the guidance, the tablets I have read so far to the ending point of Grand Line Raftel. But I think this is fan, so I don't really know, I think Robin implied that the poneglyphs held the key to Raftel in other words, Raftel couldn't be reached by any ordinary man. The only way to get there lies on poneglyphs, and you must read all of them. It would be some sort of jigsaw puzzle if you ask me. You have to collect them all and rearrange it to the big picture. That's why not a single soul could reach it since Roger, because none of them were able to decipher these texts. So, what's the deal with Raftel? Hold on, where was I? So, what's the deal with Raftel? What lies in there must be the final answer of true history. I don't know. I think that was a fan thing, so I'm not going to take much stock into that. And another theory, I'm gonna just read it quick. I'm not going to focus too much on it. Some theories were based on real life references. This will be one of them. It's not mine though. It's my friend's at local One Piece forum. His surname is Bonnie, SHP 11 ST. So all the credit goes to him. So credit goes to him for this theory I'm about to read. So in Indonesian history, there was once stood a Hindu kingdom named the Kingdom of Kedari. The kingdom was pretty known here, particularly because we study about it in high school. Apparently, the kingdom has some parallel similarities with the ancient kingdoms in One Piece. Here they are. 1. The kingdom ruled over the eastern Javanese from AD 1042 to AD 1222. It reached its golden age from AD 1130 to AD 1160 under the reign of the most known king. AD 1130 to 1160, that's approximately 900 to 800 years ago. Okay, I mean, it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. 2. The kingdom was remarkable for its well-known prophecy. It basically predicted the downfall of the kingdom, as well as the downfall of Indonesians archipelago to white and yellow race foreigners, and then be glorious once again. The prophecy turned out to be true. Not sure about this, but I think you can relate it to the promised day and Shirley's prediction. They left out 3 historical epigraphs, mainly tell about a big war between Pandawa and Kura's clan. you can relate it to the poneglyphs and the war between the ancient kingdom and 20 kingdoms. Despite the similarities, they could be mere coincidence. I mean, it's not like Kaderi was the only kingdom in the world which ruled around the time, nor is the only kingdom that left out epigraphs and prophecies. The similarities were not really that convincing either. However, the name of its king, most known king, it's the one that strike me the most. His name was King Joyo Boyo. When you first heard about Joy Boy, did it ring any bell for you? I bet it didn't. I mean, did the name sound so random? LOL. There's what I thought about Joy Boy being an Okama name, but being an Okama name, but that couldn't be serious. Reference wise, I didn't recall anyone managed to find a real person named Joy Boy or anything close to that who might be related. Well, until my friend posted the theory. Kaderi and King Joy Boyle have been. Okay, I kind of need to bring it down. Kaderi and King Joy Boyle have been quite known here, though I believe very few foreigners know about it. However, Oda is genius and unexpected because it comes to using references, so this might be plausible. You could find information about Joy Boy on Wikipedia. All credits to them. So well, that's it, folks. Sorry for bad English. The theory was hard enough to explain in Indonesian, my mother language, so I didn't expect to do it better in English. But I really hope you guys understand what I'm trying to explain. I am aware that the theory has so many weaknesses, but I believe it also makes perfect sense to some points. So let's discuss. Okay. So there you go. It's a pretty long theory. I wasn't expecting to use this whole stream for one theory, but there it is. I'm gonna link the link to that specific theory in the description. Not the original thread I was going to use. I'm gonna link to that specific theory for you guys to read the whole theory yourself and come up with your own theories and everything. I found it pretty interesting. I gave a lot of my thoughts during reading it, so I like the theory. I actually do kind of like the theory. I've found variations of it. I've heard variations of it, never in that deep detail. I kind of apologize to the author for kind of talking bad about his grammar and stuff. You know, I did say he probably was saying it in a different language, so there's that. But he says that he does English isn't his first language, and I know it is kind of hard to come up with a theory that in depth. So apologies to you, brother or sister, whatever you are. But anyway, you guys, let me know your thoughts on that theory. It was a pretty long theory, but I really did enjoy it. You know, it was some good things that came along. But anyway, I'm about to wrap this up. I'm gonna link the theory in the description box so you guys can go check it out. Anyway, it's your boy Sean Peter Bluff God. Hey, I'm out of here. You guys have a good Sunday. I'm out.